So now let's look at adding some detail to the model. Once we're happy with it and we've checked our curves and everything works out good, again, any changes you make in Civil 3D will automatically update in InfraWorks and vice versa, so that's kind of nice. So once you get your design and it's pretty sound and everything looks good, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add detail. So you're going to want to come in, you're going to want to add things like trees and cars and people and street lights and stop signs, things like that. There's also a few new features that are kind of nice, so I want to show you a few of those. So we do have new road zones, which will allow you to give you different look of your roads, different road sections in different parts of your roads without actually having to break the roads into pieces. So that's kind of nice. We also have a lot more control over the roadside grading, and can lay out some coverage areas as well as land coverage areas. And I showed you the intersections a little bit already. So let's go in and take a look at that. So as I said before, this is typically what you call a proposal. I've moved into a design phase, and I've done one that's a little more complete now. And we'll take a look at that one in just a moment. But for example, let's take a look at what if we wanted to alter some of the road sections here. So if I select this road, I can come in and I can say I want to alter the style of this road, and maybe I want to add a new style. I can pick whatever road section I want. Maybe there's an area that we need to neck down, so I'm going to say something like that. And I can just pick a point and pick a point. And you can see, without having to split that road or create separate geometry or anything, it was pretty simple and easy to have one continuous object with a new styled section in it. So that's kind of a nice little feature. Let's continue looking at some of the other options we can do. So let's take a look at, you can control the lanes forward, lane backward. So that's your lane backwards. There's your lane forward. See how it highlights each one of them? So maybe I want to add a zone for a certain lane. So I'll add another one here. And notice that it goes to a default of one lane. And now right here I might say I want 3 lanes. Maybe I'm going to create a little bus turnout or something. And I can quickly and easily start configuring that design like that, again, without having to split it and break it and transition and everything. Pretty nice and easy. And then finally, let's take a look at grading. So your roadside grading, you can see by default it's using a fixed width of 33 feet. So let's change that. We'll go to a fixed slope. And this is using a 3-to-1 slope. So if I wanted, I could go maybe to a 1.5 or 2-to-1. To get you a much more realistic grading scenario, which is probably what they might do, a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1. So you can really control what the grading is happening, what it's doing along your design as you're moving forward. Okay. You saw me do coverage areas, so those are pretty quick and easy to do. Anytime you want to go into your design elements, you just go ahead and say create conceptual design. And you can create any coverage you like from any land type you want. And it's pretty easy to just add that planned area just so we can kind of define our design information. And one of the nice things that I like now is we have these new land areas. So if I wanted to choose a land area, maybe this is going to be the project site location. And I used the same material, so it's kind of grassy. That's okay. But what I can do with that, let me go ahead and change one out so it's not identical. So I'll grab a dirt one. There we go. All right. So now I have the ability to go in, make changes, and notice that as soon as I place that, it automatically flattens my pad. So even though the earth might not have been completely flat there, it automatically makes that adjustment. And you can make those changes after the fact if you like. By simply selecting them and adjusting them. So if I wanted to grab this, lift it up in the air, you can kind of see, it's probably a little hard to see through the web browser, that it does automatic grading and it automatically flattens the pad out. But one of the nice things you can do now too is the new grading elements. So if I wanted to come down and add some grading, I could pick a grading type, maybe a 3-to-1 grass, and just apply it to that. And you'll see how it will automatically grade that at a 3-to-1 and generate these slopes for me. And it's pretty simple and easy to go in and adjust the slope types and whatever type of grading you want to go with to get the look you're going for. So now if you really want to analyze the impacts of your design, you can do that on the fly. And as you move these objects around, the grading is going to update, and you'll be able to get real-time feedback on your planned design without having to go and take it over back into Civil 3D for testing and that sort of thing. So besides that, it's pretty simple to add anything else you want. Maybe I want to add some trees. I can just pick my favorite tree. And you can add a single, you can add rows, you can add groups to put in there however many trees you want. Adjust the density of however many you like. Adjust the heights of the trees. They'll dynamically update. So as you can see, it's pretty quick to be able to add and customize this information very easily. So that's really nice. And then finally, let's look at visualization, because I am running out of time. I always talk way too much. So visualization, we do have options for proposal analysis, so elevational range analysis, design speed analysis, basically any type of analysis you would like to run, you can do that. Light, wind, different things like that. You have the ability to utilize the storyboard tool to generate animations as you walk through your design models. You can export those models out to AVIs, MPEGs, and WMV files, standard Windows movie files. You can add captions. You can do HD rendered images as well, stills for PowerPoints and marketing, things like that. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I'm going to go to a model that's a little bit more complete. And you'll notice when I do, all of those design elements I just created have been removed because those were resident in the previous design concepts. So that's how you can come up with several different looks and design elements. So here is your proposed model. And now we can utilize some of the presentation tools. And maybe, for example, the sun and sky options. So we can take a look at that. And this is great for sun studies. So if we want to take a look, you can see I have a Revit building in there. And so we can use the date and time to adjust sun studies so we can understand the impacts throughout the day, throughout the year. And it'll use your real-world coordinates to identify that. You can create renders of different types. So pretty nice and easy to be able to get a high-resolution render from your model, again, to be utilized for marketing, things like that. Give that just 1 second to process. Again, you can see how you can adjust things like overcast, brightness, and it's just going to continuously keep rendering. It's never going to stop. And the longer you let it run, the more quality resolution it's going to get. It's just going to keep rendering over and over and over again, so you get the look you're going for. When you're happy with it, you can just say stop, and then you can choose to save that out. And that'll give you a nice image rendering. Okay. So we also have the storyboard creator, which will allow you to very simply zoom in to any point you like, and then just take a shot just by hitting a button up here. And it will add that point to your timeline. And then you can move to another point somewhere else and then do the same thing. And it will create an animation that transitions from the first view to the next view to the next view until you've totally conveyed the look you're going for. You can put in captions. You can put in captions throughout the entire animation so that as it's going through your model, you have the ability to tell the story of what people are looking at as they move around. And you can, again, output that to different video files and save it to different stills as well. So you can play it in here if you want your full screen back. We also have just the storyboard player that you can launch as a floating browser. And then this will allow you to play your animations for clients, meetings, and these can also be published to your mobile and your web interface. So if you're accessing it through the internet, maybe at a client site, or you're sending a file, a link to somebody else so they can see what your design concept is, then they can access these as well. You don't have to create FTP sites and mail links or update files, anything like that. So it gives you the ability to really look at your model, see what the final design intent is going to be, understand things like views, what are you going to see as you're kind of navigating the model after the construction's been done, because you're looking at real-world data. This is the real terrain out there, as well as the real profiles you've designed on your alignments. And this type of technology is really going to set you apart from your competitors, because where other people might be just proposing on a project with a stack of papers and a price attached to it, you're actually going to be conveying very quickly from real-world data what the design is going to be, what the design intent is going to be, and kind of set yourself apart from the rest of the group. Really get the wow factor going for them. All right. Again, you also have the ability now to utilize the web and mobile. So if you're in the field, if you have a tablet, you can pull up these models. You can actually use the augmented reality in the tablets, which will interactively place you in the model when you're out in the field. So that's kind of nice. It'll allow you to show you the software to show you where you're at, which direction you're looking, and what you'd be seeing as you stand within the model. So that's nice as well.